I personally think that now is one of the worst times. Now is one of the least ideal times to put your money in a Nigerian bank. And I would go as far as to say it's very, very dangerous. So, this is the news going on around now. This is of Heritage Bank, and it says exclusive how 590 billion, you guys, this is billion with a B, in non-performing loans made Heritage Bank's closure inevitable. And it says despite initial denials of a liquidation process from deposit insurers, NDIC, Nigeria's central bank, announced the revocation of Heritage Bank's license for ceasing to carry on in Nigeria the type of banking business for which the license was issued for any continuous period of 6 months. Heritage Bank has struggled with huge non-performing loans for years, and on social media, many commenters were surprised it took so long for Heritage Bank's license to be revoked. Now it says, according to internal documents by Tech Cabal, at least 90% of the bank's active loan portfolio of around 700 billion was considered lost or doubtful as of 31st of March 2004. The bank's Tier 1 capital, comprising equity reserves and accumulated earnings, was in a deficit of over 1 trillion. What the hell? You guys, let me first of all say that I am no finance bro, because it seems that like people are in, somebody said that people that are in finance, they kind of have this air to them when you're speaking about finance, they want to tackle you. And I'm no finance bro, but this is audible to the deaf and visible to the blind. You don't have to be technically involved to know that there's something freaking wrong in the fact that a bank could have a deficit of up to 1 trillion. What have they been doing with depositors' money? And I think that that's even the most important thing now, because what they said they were going to do to depositors was, I think, pay up to the threshold of 5 million. And if you have more than 5 million in that bank, then what they basically were saying is that you have to just give them more time as they actually go after those funds and recoup those funds. We didn't have this thing in probably 20 years now, when Soludo did the whole restructuring and to increase the liquidity of banks. So we've literally gone back almost 20 years behind. Anyways, let's talk about the depositors. I think that's also what is kind of doing my head in. Like the depositors in the bank, what is going to happen to them? And so the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, has been appointed the liquidator of Heritage Bank. Essentially, NDIC officials will take over the existing management of the bank and will begin the payment of insured deposit up to the insurable limit, which was recently increased from 500,000 to 5 million. So thank your stars if you don't have up to 5 million in that bank. One NDIC official who asked not to be named said depositors will access their deposits as quickly as Wednesday. I believe we're already in Wednesday. So if you have friends that work in Heritage Bank or work in had money there, kind of contact them. Regulators will begin to find a buyer of the bank, and in the interim, a bridge bank will be created to take over the failed bank's assets. They said the last time a Nigerian bank, Skybank, was liquidated, Polaris Bank took over Skybank with a 789 billion cash injection. Now, let me say a personal story at this point. Those of you that are subscribers to my channel, I always have these personal stories and anecdotes and analogies. I think it was 2020. Was that 2020? I think it was 2020. I had a friend. We went to the same school. We actually graduated together. A very close friend. And after we finished our NYSC, she was looking for a job. And then she finally decided she was going to go to the UK. So I remember the day she told her aunt about this job. This job was in Heritage Bank. So she told her aunt, I think was a very big person in Total Nigeria Limited, and she told her, you know, and the aunt gave her, was such a short notice. She was in Benin, and the aunt told her, you have to go for an interview tomorrow. And I told her there's no way you're going to make it. She was like, oh, she has not done very well with opportunities in the past that this person had given her, that she wanted to be good for it. I said, I mean, if you're still going to be going to the UK, she was also thinking of going to the UK. She had even started that process. But no, what's the point? Do you know this lady, she took a night bus, risked her, as a woman, risked her life, took a night bus, was in Lagos the next morning, attended that interview, and she passed. And one year, some few months later, they gave an offer, 200,000 naira to start. This was 2020, 200,000 naira to start. I think the island branch, either via or Marina, one of them, and obviously the opportunity to grow. And she had this opportunity, and then she had UK, and it was kind of like, okay, what was God saying? What would be the, suffice it to say, to some of you will have just said that was a no-brainer. So, but 1 year later, she actually did choose the UK. She was not telling me, oh, how would have life been? Probably should have gotten married if she stayed in Nigeria. She would have been a bit like, advancing. But I literally just remembered this story now as I was doing this. And the decisions that you make today will affect your life in the next 5, 10, 50, 15 years. And the reason why I'm doing this video, I'm going to talk about FirstBank next, but is that invest in assets. Those of you that are crazy about stacking money in the bank, if you're not a corrupt Nigerian politician or drug dealer, I don't know why you'll be stacking a huge amount of money in the bank. Invest it in assets, put it in a tangible investment like real estate, because these banks are moving crazy. Let's look at the second one. So this is exclusive. FirstBank employee on the run after diverting 40 billion naira. Bank begins recovery. Probably the same week. Wow. FirstBank, a Nigerian bank with a market capitalization of 829 billion naira, has begun legal action to recover huge sums of money allegedly diverted by an employee at a head office team in Igamu, Lagos. The employee, now on the run, allegedly diverted those funds to 98 bank accounts classified as first beneficiaries, including his wife's. I hope the name is employee. The bank reported the incident to the Nigerian police force on March 25th, 2024, and obtained 3 court orders between April 4 to 8, 2024 to block hundreds of bank accounts believed to have received the stolen funds. 3 people with direct knowledge of the incident told Tech Cabal that while the initial amount discovered to be diverted was around 12 billion, it now stands at around 40 billion, $29 million. One person. As the manager on the electronic products team at FirstBank, the employee, identified by court documents as Tijani Miwiz Adeyinka, was authorized to process reversals for customers, said one FirstBank employee with knowledge of the matter. It meant he controlled an account with which he possessed those reversals and could credit merchant accounts. Muiz allegedly used that authority to credit customer reversal requests to a merchant he controlled. As the last line of authorization on the team, he allegedly did not need any further approvals. It allowed him to carry on diverting customer funds for almost 2 years without detection. His scheme was eventually discovered when the customer made a complaint that was eventually escalated to the bank's internal control unit. The control unit discovered several suspicious transactions and reported to the police. We hereby bring to your notice the discovery of fraudulent transactions into various transactions within and outside the bank, and request your good offices to set up the machinery of investigation in place with a view to unravel the circumstances surrounding the said fraud, the culprits apprehended and get the culprits apprehended to face the wrath of the law. First Bank, of course, did not respond to multiple calls and emails from tech about requesting comments. And also, the Nigerian police did not immediately respond, but when they did, they said it was discovered that he made some fraudulent transactions to his wife's account number, named withheld, domiciled with Zenith Bank, which in turn transferred to other beneficiaries, totaling 34 accounts, which also gave birth to second beneficiaries domiciled with other banks, totaling 1,190 accounts, the statement said. Despite a decline in reported cases in Q1 2024, fraud remains a big issue in Nigeria's financial services industry. While fintechs receive disproportionate scrutiny, the country's biggest banks are often on the receiving end of fraud attacks too. In 2023, Access Bank lost 6.15 billion to fraud, and Fidelity lost 2.5 billion in 3 incidents, per report by Business Day. So, First Bank obviously obtained an order to block the bank account of the first and second beneficiaries of the illegally obtained funds from a federal high court in Lagos. One beneficiary account reportedly used some of the stolen funds to buy the stablecoin USDT from several crypto traders, according to an anonymous email. Those traders claimed their only investment was selling USDT and denied knowing the funds they received were proceeds of fraud. They have now been drawn into a legal battle with the bank, with restrictions on their account at the time of this report. So this is just all the way messy, all the way crazy, all the way this is bad. And I don't believe that it's just a Nigerian thing, something with fraud. I mean, Hollywood kind of even glorifies it. It will always go on ahead. People will always try to game the system, take advantage. It's even as little things as going to your supermarket. And I hate the fact that they want people to pay for even a bag. When you go to the UK, you finish buying stuff, you still want to, nylon, Nigerians would call it. You still want to pay, but people that don't pay for it, that's still fraud. Human beings will always try to take advantage of every single system lapse, and this guy was the last line of authority, and then he got away with it. But the reason why I'm doing this, and the reason why I'm saying, is that your long-term strategy should not be to keep your money in the bank. If you're liquid, put your money in tangible assets. Buy a house, buy land, build a business, because just even see those people that are now drawn into legal battles, all of those, I can bet you lots of innocent people will be affected, and a lien will be placed on, restrictions will be placed on their account for God knows however long this court process is going to take. So if you can help it, and if you are unbelievably liquid, I think you should invest in real estate. And talk to me to get you started on the journey. Yeah, this is a new content style I'm trying. I hope you guys like this. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Kindly like, kindly share, kindly subscribe. Reach out to me for all of your real estate needs. This is the Ownahome TV show. Here at Ownahome, we believe that owning a home, owning a property should not make you lose sleep. So we are committed to giving you the very best property recommendations on insider real estate gist. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you at the very next video. Bye-bye.